This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. What you just heard there was my humble attempt to recreate what is certainly the oldest guitar solo I've ever featured on this channel, and I would say there's a strong case to be made to say it's the most historically significant guitar solo played ever. Pretty bold claim. Let me explain. That solo was played by Charlie Christian, who was the guitar player for Benny Goodman in the sextet and in his orchestra. And this was the 1930s we're talking about here. The tune was called Rose Room, by the way. And basically, the electric guitar was a new piece of technology back then. And much like the guitar synthesizer became in the 1980s a new piece of technology, there's every possibility, I suppose, that the electric guitar could have become very much a niche instrument in the same way the guitar synthesizer did, until a big rock star of the time, I guess Benny Goodman, hired an electric guitarist, Charlie Christian, there he is, to play in his band. That raised the profile of the electric guitar as an instrument, a soloing instrument, and the rest, as they say, is history. So, it's right back to the roots of electric lead guitar playing. And that tune, Rose Room, was the tune that Christian first played with Benny Goodman. Apparently John Hammond, the legendary producer, snuck Charlie Christian onto the stage at a Benny Goodman gig. Goodman was none too happy about this, so called out this obscure tune called Rose Room that he thought that Charlie Christian would never have a chance of playing. Christian, though, could listen to a chord sequence, one cycle through it, and then just improvise effortlessly over it for chorus after chorus. That particular evening, the version of Rose Room lasted about 40 minutes, apparently, with Goodman and Christian trading solos in a game of musical one-upmanship for quite some time. And then, obviously, it ended up being captured for posterity when they went into the studio and recorded it. So, there you go. That's my justification for saying it is a historically significant guitar solo. But enough blethering from me. Let's have a little bit of a look at what's going on in the solo.
Solo explanation.
Okay then, as usual, we will begin by looking at the chord sequence we're playing over here. This is what it looks like, and this is what it sounds like. 2. I could talk for some length about things like 2-5-1 sequences and secondary dominant chords and modal interchange that's going on in that little chord sequence, but that will be an entire other video all in itself, so let's not. Let's instead look at what kind of things you do to play over that sort of chord sequence, and it's very much based around playing over the chord changes, playing over the individual chords and thinking about the next chord that's in the cue that's coming up. So let's take, for instance, a B flat 7 chord. There's a couple of those in the sequence. I was playing it like that, but you know, that's a more sort of familiar version of it, I guess. So over that chord, what's the first thing you think about? Well, you think about the notes that are in the chord. And maybe you can take this D note here and move it down to there as well, so you get... So that will be the first port of call to play a lick over that chord, so you get that kind of thing. There's a lick you could play over that chord, just based on the notes of that chord. Playing an arpeggio, basically. Then you have, like, you know, the obvious additional notes that you can put in, and these are, to anybody who's ever played a blues solo, just, you know, minor pentatonic, major pentatonic, the obvious candidates, you know, so you could... that kind of thing, just adding like the fourth and the flat third, like that. Other things that you tend to find happen a couple of times in this solo, well, more than a couple of times, are chromatic runs. So you can take, like, that little arpeggio there from that B flat 7th chord, and you see you've got these two notes on this string. Join them up, fill in the gaps, like that. So, again, start to sound a little bit more like jazz guitar now, isn't it? And then maybe down here. All that sort of stuff. And there's one other note that he likes to use, well, he does it in a couple of places, the flat 9th. Now, don't be scared of the jargon. What's a flat 9th? Well, it's simply the note at 1 fret above your root. So, like, if there's your B flat note, the root of the B flat chord I'm using as the example here, that would be the flat 9th, the B. You see this kind of thing all the time in Stevie Ray Vaughan solos, to be honest, you know, this kind of thing. That kind of thing. That there. And there's a couple of places in the solo where he does that sort of thing. So what I've done is I've chosen 5 licks from the solo that sort of typify what's going on throughout the solo. So let's have a look at lick number 1. Yeah, this lick typifies that sort of flat 9th kind of thing going on. What we've got here is an E flat 7th going to an A flat major 7th. And most of the notes in this lick are just like either E flat 7th chord notes or, as I was saying earlier, the obvious extra notes that, you know, you would find in any blues solo. Goes like this. Like that. Now, notice there we've got this E note. We're playing over an E flat 7th chord. That E note is that flat 9th I was talking about, that little Stevie Ray Vaughan kind of trick. You know, obviously Stevie Ray Vaughan, you know, came later in the timeline, but it's just an obvious reference point for where you'd see that thing. So there's a nice little lick you can use over E flat 7, and notice how the lick resolves to a strong pair of notes from the A flat major 7th chord. So, you know, a really tense note like that E over that E flat 7th That's a really kind of spicy note to put there, but you know, by the time you've reached this chord, the tension is resolved because you're playing to a couple of notes in that chord. So that's lick number 1. Let's see what's next. Yeah, now this is played over the A flat 7th, going to a D flat major chord. And what we've got here is a little arpeggio. This. What arpeggio is that? Well, we've got the notes of C, E flat, G flat, and B flat. It's essentially a C minor 7 flat 5 arpeggio. Could play it like that as a chord. The thing about C minor 7 flat 5 is if you stick an A flat note underneath it, you get quite a familiar chord shape to anybody who's ever played blues. It's that kind of 9th chord shape. And basically, we're playing it over an A flat 7. So he's just basically thinking of A flat 7th as being an A flat 9th. And playing that little arpeggio that's contained within it. Let's have a look at it again. There we go. And finishing on the D flat note there. Notice that little chromatic run as well. Again, getting to the note that you're going to finish on, a target note, a strong note for the chord, and just arriving there chromatically. Very effective little technique. That's what's happening in lick number 2. Let's see what's next. Okay, just a straight up little blues lick. You know, we're playing over this A flat major 7th chord. And just playing like a typical minor major blues lick. That kind of thing. They're just taking the minor third of them, like thinking maybe in minor pentatonic and going to the major third. Like that. Wouldn't look out of place in an Eric Clapton solo, that one. Nice, easy little blues lick that fits perfectly into this context. Let's see what's next. Okay, we're back to the that kind of E flat 7th to the A flat major 7th again, and we've got a similar lick to lick number 1 in that it uses that flat 9th, that E note, over the E flat 7th chord. And you can see at the beginning of the lick we've also got that little chromatic run where it's going 8, 7, 6, so. There we go, and landing on the A flat note, the root note of that chord. Nice little lick, that. There we go. Again, just using that flat 9th. Basically, think of this whenever you've got like your 5 chord. Like, so if you're thinking, I don't know, where we A flat there, 1, 4, 5, over that 5 chord there, when it's going back to that 1 chord, which is essentially what we've got here. Like that, you can use the flat 9th of that 5 chord. So if you E flat, you use the E note over the E flat chord, and it just adds a little bit more tension and spiciness to it, and that then gets resolved when you hit the 1 chord again. So that's what's going on there. Let's have a look at the final lick. Okay, another arpeggio bass lick with a little chromatic run at the end. We're playing over the F7 to the B flat 7 here, and we've got let's have a look. That chromatic run at the end of it is, for me, that's what makes the lick. like that. But if we just look at this, those are all notes that are coming straight out of the F7th chord, you know. There's just me walking up and down an F7 bar chord. And then if I take the A note there, the major third, and bring it over to here, I get... And then what we've got there, again, it's just that thing I was talking about earlier when we were looking at the B flat 7 chord. And I played that kind of run of notes there, chromatically linking two notes in the chord. That's exactly what we've got here. But those are the 5 licks that go to make up what's going on in this solo, or typify what's going on in this solo. So it's all about thinking about the notes that are in the chords, the notes that are in the next chord that's kind of coming up, and finding interesting and engaging and, you know, perhaps slightly tense and spicy ways of connecting the two, you know, using that flat 9th thing, or using chromatic ideas to join up two notes that make sense over this chord and then maybe over the next chord. So that's what's going on in the solo. Hope that's made some kind of sense to you, and go away and have some fun with it. And as always, there is a full tab in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats, along with a clip of me playing the solo, that explanation you've just seen there, and a backing track to play along with it. All of that is up on my Patreon page. There's the address, and the link is in the description. $3 or £2.50 a month gets you access to all of these extra resources and bits and pieces that go along with these YouTube videos. A massive, massive, heartfelt thank you to everybody who supports me in that or any of the other ways, all of which are also linked down in the description. And that is all we've got time for today, folks. Hope you've enjoyed the video and found it useful, informative, and perhaps a little bit inspiring. And if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And why not give me a like while you're at it? As always, don't forget the live stream every Friday 5 PM UK time, where we drink beer and talk music and guitars. What a great way to kick off the weekend. Come and join us, it's fun. But until then, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.